Hello everyone, I'm Scruffy Maps, this is Scruffy's Retro Corner, and we are once again playing the Ace Attorney Trilogy, the second game, Justice for All in particular. Hello Chet the Bringer of Death, hello Don McClain, great to see you both here as usual for an Ace Attorney game. I'm echoing, that's not right. Why would I be echoing? Let's have a look here. Echo, testing, 1, 2. Okay, how about now? Is that better? Testing, 1, 2. Mic check, sibilance, etc. Still echoing or better now? Better now. Okay, great. Alright. So yeah, we're once again playing Justice for All and trying to solve the murder of this circus ringleader. We did some more investigating last week into the case. Found out that there's a lot that seemed to have happened 6 months ago that may be connected to this murder. Good morning, Max! Oh, yeah, good morning, sweeties. You don't seem like your usually sparkling self today. I'm always like this before I go in front of an audience. I'm working up to it. Tee-hee! Don't get nervous, Maxie. Here, have a glass of milk. Regina! How fabulous! My sweetie pie princess! You came to watch my performance today? Of course I did! Mo told me that I should come and watch this. Mo said that? So, what kind of poems will you put on today? Let me guess, you'll fly at the end? It's not that kind of show. Isn't that right, my sweeties? Huh? I think my sweetie pie princess doesn't... Yeah, she doesn't seem to realize what's going on, or even where she is. Your voice isn't doubling anymore, but now what you're saying is repeating about 2 seconds after you finish a sentence. What the heck? Well, I can't think of why that would be. Well, let me try closing some other apps and see if that helps. Alright, how did that go? Any better now? It wouldn't be a Twitch stream if there wasn't some sort of audio problems, would it? Still doing it. Okay. Really not sure what's going on here. Don't understand what's going on. Well, it looks alright on my end of Twitch. As far as I can tell, anyway. I'm not sure. Testing. Yeah, in my browser and on my phone even, it seems to be normal. Maybe you need to refresh. That's the only thing I can suggest. I don't think the problem is on my end. Well, Max, it looks like it's time to raise the curtain. I'll see you later. Today, I'm just a member of the audience. But fabulous. Enjoy yourself out there. Good luck, Max. You're the best. Regina's different, don't you think, Nick? Top of the morning to you! Everybody, let's get ready to get stuck in legal limbo! How low can you go? Mo? Top of the morning to you, governor! Top of the morning. That's the ticket. Attacking the day starts with energy in the morning. The early bird gets the worm. But then again, worms lack higher brain function. Here, Max, I brought you a present. Have some milk. Oh my. Thanks. So how are you today, right? Now, why is everyone bringing this guy milk? This feels a little suspicious. Well, I got the feeling that today I'm gonna face off against a real culprit. You mean Acro? Huh? You think he did it? I have to agree. He's definitely involved somehow. Be careful. He's used to putting his life on the line. Literally. He's got guts to spare. All I've got to worry about is how thin the tightrope is. I'm used to it already. Just means that I won't be able to press him like I can other witnesses. What are you going to do then, Nick? I guess today we'll just have to do without our usual psychological warfare. Today we rely on evidence. It's the only way we'll get past Acro and to the truth. You're right, but it's gonna be tough. Anyways, I want you to make sure that Regina sees it all today. It's important. Switch to your phone and it's not doing it there, but it still is on the Kindle. That is confusing. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know what could be causing it, chat. I'm sorry. But then she'll finally have to deal with the reality of what happened to her father. You want us to make sure Regina watches? Yes, that's why I brought her here to court today. What's that supposed to mean? She needs to know that when people die, they don't just become stars. I may be an old-fashioned clown, but I don't believe in people becoming stars. Honestly, is it really hurting anyone if she believes that her father is watching over her from the night sky? You just did the same thing, took care of it on your end too. Amazon finally fed up with Twitch? Could be. Who knows? Alright, so it's been a while since we started this case. Let's go over what we already know. Fact number 1. The ringmaster was murdered about 10:15 in the courtyard plaza, whatever you want to call it, at the Circus Lodging House. He was found slumped over a big wooden chest, which contained a bottle of pepper, I believe it was. There were no footprints from the murderer leading away from the crime scene. And according to 2 witnesses, the murderer actually flew away. What else? We do know that on the morning of the murder, Acro put a note in Regina's pocket to the murderer. Please meet me 10 p.m. in the courtyard there. Now, so he is definitely involved in this. Whether he was the murderer or he was an accomplice, he's got to be involved somehow. Complicating matters is he is in a wheelchair. So, theory I'm working on at the moment is he was maybe on the roof, operating a harness to, help raise the murderer up into the air, which is what Mo saw, and what Acro is claiming he also saw, the murderer flying away. We also know that 6 months ago, about the same time that Max Galactica joined the circus, there was a terrible accident involving Acro's brother Bat, who was dared to stick his head in the lion's mouth, and the lion chomped down on him and put him in a coma. And we've had a couple of witnesses say, yes, I know, Acro and Bat, it's terrible. But some of the witnesses were saying that Leon the lion, when he bit down on the guy's head, he appeared to be smiling. Now, my theory is there that he was dosed with the pepper, made him sneeze, and that's why he accidentally bit down on the guy's head. Now, when this happened, Acro tried to go to his brother's aid and fought the lion, and ended up getting rather badly injured himself, which is why he's now in the wheelchair. Though I'm wondering, 6 months later, could he have healed to the point where he doesn't actually need the wheelchair anymore and is just faking it? These are the questions going through my head. So yeah. Alright, this is the information we need to take into the case today, I guess. Let's see how this goes. Court is now in session for the trial of Maximilian Galactica. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well. Ms. Von Kammer, you may proceed with your case. The prosecution would like to revise its previous theory of events. What's the meaning of this? We have discovered a new witness, or shall I say, a new eyewitness. One that saw Maximilian Galactica fly off from the scene of the crime. I'm so sorry, I can't really do a German accent. I'm struggling to do a bad Russian accent. Order! Order! I had a feeling something like this would come up. Due to this revision, we are now prepared to explain how the defendant flew that night. An explanation the prosecution will present if the need so arises. In fact, my detective stayed up all night creating a mock-up of the scene on my orders. Ooh. Gumshoe's been busy. I would very much like to see that. Poor Gumshoe. Very well, please call your witness to the stand. Time to get to work. Or shall I say, time to walk the courtroom tightrope. Hey. Wow, his birds even came with him to court. Name and occupation. Ken Dingling, but everyone calls me Acro. I'm employed as an acrobat at the Very Big Circus. Yes, Dom, you have my permission to do the facepalm again. Where were you the night of the crime? I was in my room that night. If you look at the map, you will see the witness's room is near the crime scene. My room is on the 3rd floor. The crime scene is below my window. Cats. The night of the crime, the witness saw something quite shocking. Would you tell us what you witnessed? Okay. What I witnessed. It was just after 10 p.m. and I was resting in my bed. Around that time, I heard a large thump noise come from outside the window. Then, a few moments later, I saw someone flying right by my window. It was Max Galactica. I only saw him from behind, but that's who it looked like. To be honest, when I saw that, I thought I was dreaming. This witness's testimony matches up exactly with that of the clown. If that's the case, there is very little the prosecution need add. All that's left is to explain how the defendant disappeared into the sky that night. Before we get that far, I'd like to cross-examine the witness. A foolish choice by a foolish fool who wishes to feel the foolish sadness of a sad fool. A man must know the proper timing for things, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Just like your old friend, Mr. Miles Edgeworth did. Ouch. Mr. Wright, do you have a problem with the witness's testimony? In the words of Ms. Von Karma, may I quote yesterday's proceedings? There's no way that actually happened. Very well, you may proceed with your cross-examination. Alright, let's see what we can get here. It's just after 10 p.m. and I was resting in my bed. You said that you were resting in bed. One would thus assume that you turned the lights off in your room, correct? That's correct. But there are safety lights around the outside the lodging house. It's so bright, sometimes it can make it hard to sleep. Well, that raises the question, why didn't he have the curtains shut? If that's the case, wouldn't it be a good idea to close some curtains? They anticipated my objection. I never really thought of that. I guess that means I'm off to buy some curtains. Haha! Sometimes I do make myself useful in these chambers. Ow! The witness will proceed with his testimony. Around that time, I heard a large thump noise from outside the window. Your room is on the 3rd floor, right? Yes. And you said that you were resting in bed. That is correct. But you were still able to hear a sound from outside. I was indeed. Pressing accurate didn't seem to get results. Maybe something was contradictory in what he said just now. I mean, on the 3rd floor, it might be difficult to hear a loud noise like that. There is a huge contradiction with the testimony that was just given. If there's a contradiction, then prove it with evidence. She's right. Let's see some evidence. Do you have any evidence to support your claim of contradiction? Well, let's try the map. I don't think it's gonna work. What in the world is this? Ow! You just don't get it, do you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? What don't I get? You're not going to be able to get through this one with your usual bluff routine. Your client looks to be ready to take off once again. Straight towards a guilty verdict. You were bluffing? I will not forgive any more mockeries made of this court. Whoops. Witness, would you mind repeating your testimony? Certainly. Just after 10 p.m. when I was resting in my bed. Around that time I heard a loud thump noise come from outside the window. Then, a few moments later, I saw someone flying right by the window. Are you sure it was a human being? It could have been a mannequin, or perhaps a large action figure. I hadn't considered a mannequin. That's actually not a bad point. Well, setting aside the possibility of a mannequin, an action figure is plausible. You have no need to mince words, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Testify to the truth and only the truth, just as if we were there with you that night. I believe it was a human. Damn, just strengthened his testimony. I wonder if accurate statement jives with the facts. Well, it doesn't look as if they're going to penalize me, so let's try for a contradiction. I don't think there is at the moment. There's a... No. No, I don't. Just give him the monkey. Why not? This might be where we get the information. The light in your room was turned off then, right? That's true. I was going to bed after all. So with the lights off, you were still able to clearly see a human fly by your window. The safety lights lit things up enough for me to see. But honestly, there was only enough light for me to see the silhouette outside my window. It was the person's back, so I couldn't see the white roses on the front. Did you see any of the other symbols? I clearly saw the silk hat, as well as a cloak wrapped around his body. I'm convinced that the person I saw was Max Galactica. The more I press him, the less results I seem to get. I think we got a contradiction there, though. The hat was found on the ground, so if that's the case, he shouldn't have still been wearing it when he flew away. Maybe there was something fishy with his latest business. Alright, let's try this. You claim to have seen the exact same thing Mo saw that night. Do you stand by that? What do you mean? The silk hat. What about the silk hat? I saw it on Max's head as he flew by my window. Well, you should have tried looking down out of your window that night. Bit difficult from the bed, where he is lying, crippled. That would have been quite difficult considering the state I'm in. Again, they've anticipated my response. Just looking outside the window was a tough enough challenge for me. That's a shame, because you would have noticed the silk hat found on the scene. That's the ringmaster's hat, right? Afraid not. No matter how you look at it, this is Max's silk hat. Where are you going with this, Mr. Wright? Are you saying that Max has two silk hats? No. This is the handmade, one-of-a-kind model, made only for Max Galactica. Which means, Acro, that you've been fibbing on the stand. Order! Order! As always, it looks like someone just had to open their mouth before thinking. Are you okay, Nick? Well, I opened my big mouth and now I have to back it up. How about it, Mr. Wright? What would cause this witness to commit perjury in this court today? Alright. He has a grudge against Max. Well, we haven't heard anything about Acro being another one of Regina's suitors, have we? His brother was. And the ventriloquist is. And Max is. But there's been no mention of Acro wanting to get together with Regina. He could have a grudge against Max for coming in after his brother was injured and taking his place in the circus. But I think I'm going to lean more towards Acro is the real culprit. Your Honor, on this occasion the defense accuses Acro himself. On this occasion? Accuses Acro? What in the world are you accusing him of? Obviously, we accuse him of the murder of Mr. Russell Berry. Mr. Wright, are you serious? Deadly serious, Your Honor. Ha ha ha! I think your trips to the circus have served you well. You seem to have learned how to try and grab at an audience's hearts and minds. Huh. Your Honor, don't allow yourself to be swayed by theatrics. Trying to wow the crowd with smoke and mirrors is the oldest bluff in the book. Really? If you don't believe me, just look at the witness. He's calm enough for it to be almost scary. He is staying rather calm and collected. Mr. Dingley, do you have any response to the defense's accusation? I don't really need to say a thing, do I? What do you mean? Everyone, take a good look at me. I can't even stand up by myself, let alone leave the lodging house. That's true. I understand that Mr. Wright is just trying to help his client. But to do this by accusing me of a murder of all things... See, even a sliver of common sense makes it clear the accusation is ludicrous. She's right. Way to pick on the disabled, you heartless, cruel man. Phoenix is a poopy head. See that, Mr. Phoenix Wright? If you're trying to drum up support from the peanut gallery, that's how you do it. I think that's enough of this little game. I've got a doctor's note to confirm that Acro is unable to stand under his own power. Okay, so that puts the kibosh on my theory that he might be faking it. Maybe the defense is planning on making a claim to counter this as well? Whoa, you're only smoke and mirrors! That's me. Smoke and mirrors is my middle name. Seriously, you should see the looks I get when I have to fill in a form. I can hear the defense now. Acro had an accomplice! Well, yes. What do you say about this, Mr. Wright? Did Acro have an accomplice? Well, of course he did. It's impossible for Acro to be the murderer in this case. If that's the case, then it's natural for one to consider possible accomplices. You don't say. Not good. Not good. This isn't going to end well. Don't tell me you think you're going to get off easy. What? You must not have heard that sound just now. Maybe it wasn't clear enough. The sound of you falling into your own trap can be so hard to notice sometimes. Mr. Wright. Guess you're not a WWE fan, that's okay. I am not. I'm sorry. Wrestling has no interest for me at all. Glad to see Dom got it though. Mr. Wright, it seems as if you won't be stopping at Acro, but will be making other accusations. If Acro did not have an accomplice, things are not looking good for you. I understand, Your Honor. Very well, let's continue. Who, perchance, would happen to be Acro's accomplice? Well, there's a couple of possibilities here, isn't there? I don't think it was Mo. So that narrows it down to either Regina or the ventriloquist. I'm leaning more towards the ventriloquist myself. You don't say! Uh-oh, this is suddenly looking very, very bad. Don't tell me you think you're going to get off easy. What? Oh, did you hear that? Hear what? The sound of you getting caught in your... Why are you repeating dialogue? What a splendid accomplice! I'm sure this accusation is built on a solid foundation. Foundation? Yes, Mr. Wright. Do you have any proof that this person you've accused was indeed an accomplice? Well, I don't have any proof, I don't think. Let's have a look at what I do have. Way to picture the crime scene. Hat. Poster. Broken bottle could be pretty good evidence. Don't think there's anything on the map that makes it obvious. Let's face it, the broken bottle was pretty circumstantial. It just occurred to me. I think I know what the murder weapon is. Because that's been missing, hasn't it? So that would make sense. Right, let's have a look at this note again. To the murderer, you haven't forgotten what happened 6 months ago, have you? I have conclusive evidence of what took place. Meet me at 10 p.m. tonight at the Lodging House Plaza. So that is the note that Acro put in Regina's pocket. So is he holding Regina responsible or the ringmaster? Did we ever establish who it was that dared Bat to stick his head in the lion's mouth? Because if it was Max who gave him that dare, then that would be pretty good means for a grudge, but you'd think they would go after Max himself. But the ringmaster was wearing Max's coat. That might be it. Alright, well now that's making me wonder if it actually is Regina who is the accomplice. Anyway, let's try this bottle. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. This piece of evidence is lacking in persuasive power. You didn't miss that sound, did you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? You know, the sound of you receiving a penalty? What are you doing, Nick? What do you say about this, Mr. Wright? Did Acro have an accomplice? Alright, let's save again. What if I try going after Regina instead? Alright. You don't say. Uh-oh. Oh, man. Huh. Any suggestions from the crowd? Because I'm not quite sure where to go with this. Couldn't be the brother, surely. That would just be ridiculous. Now, I feel he did have to have an accomplice. He was on the roof, reeling in the harness. So who was on the ground? Was it Regina or was it Ben? what do I have that can possibly prove it? Chat, Dom, any suggestions? I'm all stumped. The only other thing I can think of is this wooden box could be the ventriloquist box that he keeps his dummy in. Nope, nothing. Alright. Let's see. Okay. Apparently I'm supposed to say he doesn't have an accomplice. Alright. Let's roll with that and see how that goes. Now, this must be when we get to hear the name of the mystery accomplice. Not this time, Von Karma. What? You're not going to sucker me into this one. What are you blabbering about, Mr. Wright? There was no accomplice. Acro planned and committed this murder all by himself. This seems very unlikely, but okay, let's see where this goes. Order! Order! What are you getting at? Way to keep them on their toes, Nick. Now I'm gonna have to prove how it all fits together. I have to show Acro how Acro murdered Russell Berry. Can you do it, Nick? Can you really do that? I know what I can't do. I can't stop now. If I stop attacking, I'm doomed. Alright, let's do it. Mr. Phoenix Wright. If this witness is the killer, then his eyewitness account is all lies, right? Mr. Wright, I'd like you to clear something up for me. When the crime was committed, exactly where was Mr. Dinkley? I suppose he could have been on the roof and dropped the chest on him? But then he would have been found underneath it, not on top of it. He was obviously here the entire time. That's Acro's room? Pretty simple, eh? Acro wasn't able to leave the lodging house by himself. In that case, there can only be one correct answer. Acro didn't leave his room to kill the ringmaster. What? Are you nuts? What say you, Mr. Dingling? It's an interesting theory. That's it? Considering that what you proposed is impossible, yes, that's it. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. As the witness has stated, your assertion is impossible. As he is in a wheelchair, there is no way he could go to the scene or be the killer. You got a point. It seems you've forgotten once again, Mr. Phoenix Wright. The defendant was clearly spotted at the scene of the crime. That's true. Mo said that he saw Max. I got it. I've got it. The ringmaster, we already established the ringmaster borrowed Max's outfit, the hat and the cloak. When he died, the cloak was caught in the wind and flew away. That's what everyone's been saying they've seen. But Maya, it's still impossible for humans to fly. Do you mind if I ask a question, Mr. Wright? What is it? I understand some of your logic. However, how do you think that I killed him? If I can't leave my room, I obviously couldn't wear Max's costume. How did he do it? That's the next course of this legal buffet. Be careful, Nick. If you mess up here... That's right, I can't mess up here. I gotta give this one some serious thought. I'm sure that Acro killed the ringmaster. And he did it while he was in his room, no doubt about it. Time to enlighten us as to how Mr. Dingling committed the crime, Mr. Wright. Well, it was blunt force trauma to the back of the head, which means he must have thrown something. But the only thing that was found at the scene of the crime was the chest. And the hat. Obviously the... Hey, you two! Be nice. Cats. The hat's obviously not the murder weapon. And if the chest was used to kill him, then he would have been found underneath it, not on top of it. So, I guess I don't have the evidence I need right now. Let's have a look at the court record. Make sure there's nothing else here that could work. No, I don't think I can prevent evidence right now. I think we'll finally be graced with an explanation. Don't push it, Von Karma. What? What? You aren't gonna suck me in this time. I'm smart enough to know when I don't have the cards to play, and my hand sucks right now. Bruh? What do you mean, Mr. Wright? He means that everything he said up until now has all been nonsense. It's true, right? If you can't establish proof of your murder theory, then it's nonsense. He's trying to fool us by playing some misdirection game. Oh, poo. Yeah, looks like this isn't going to pass muster. Nick, you've got to show them some evidence. Easier said than done. So what will it mean, Mr. Wright? Alright, let's load. I don't want to use up all my points right. I'm going to present some evidence. So what did Mr. Dingley use to commit the crime of murder against Russell Berry? It's the only thing I can think of, the wooden box. I think you should try again, especially before someone gets a chance to say something. Yeah, you're probably right. So as I was saying, this piece of evidence... Stop! Wait! I say, before you start over, you must be penalized. Oh, he got me. And if you don't put an end to this funny business, I've got a few more ideas. Okay. Couldn't be the monkey, could it? I mean, I guess the monkey could have been in the room. Or the bottle. But I think the bottle was found in the cafeteria. The monkey would make sense, because he'd get up and walk away, although he probably would have been injured himself. Try the monkey. No, no good. Alright. Broken bottle. Hi, Tofu. No, you can't go in Evelyn's room. She's not even home at the moment. No, you can't go in there. Alright, let's try this broken bottle. No, I didn't think it was the bottle. Could it have been a person? Excuse me for just a moment. You just want some attention? Is that it? Whoops. That was the wrong button. Oh dear. Alright, let's try again. Well, it's not the box, we know that. Could it be the bust? I did think that was why it was missing. But you would think it would have been found at the crime scene, wouldn't you? What's that? A picture? It is indeed. The problem is with the item that's shown in the picture. The bust? Oh, is that it? It was the bust they saw, not Max himself. It's quite a large bust, and because it's life size, it's also very, very heavy. Heavy? Heavy enough to guarantee a certain death. Especially if it was dropped from a third-story window. Ah! Oh, he's not smiling anymore. See, this is how Acro was able to kill the ringmaster. with the force of gravity and Maximilian Galactus' ample bust. No comment. Order! Order! So you're saying the bust fell onto the Ringmaster? A rather simple crime. Even if he were stuck in a wheelchair, it would be incredibly easy to commit. How could you possibly wheel a wheelchair with something so heavy? It's impossible! Well, Acro is an acrobat. He should have more than enough upper body strength to carry something like the bus. And he does have a lot of weight training stuff. We saw the dumbbells and stuff in his apartment. Mr. Dingley, how do you respond to these charges? Well, Acro's at a loss for words. Should be. He knows that I'm getting close to the truth. Well, Acro. You can't run away from the— Ow! That was in poor taste. I'd watch what I say if I were you, Mr. Phoenix Wright. But yes. Ample bust, honestly. What? Your Honor, the physical health of the witness is material to this case. I demand that we get proper testimony from the witness himself. Testimony, you say? For karma. She's just using this testimony as a ruse to stall for time. There's absolutely no need for such testimony. The defense has its version of the murder. The prosecution has the right to respond. The defense's objection is overruled. Why can't he see things my way once in a while? Mr. Dingley, I'm sorry, but we need you to testify about your physical condition. If you have any doubts about your ability to testify, we can request expert testimony. The witness will have no problems. However, let's all be respectful towards him. Thank you. That one was sink to any load to win a case. Acro's physical state. I suppose I could have lifted something the size of that bust. I have a strong upper body working as an acrobat, and only my legs were injured. However, lifting the bust and looking out the window would have been impossible. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. That makes it impossible for me to have known the location of the Ringmaster's head. Thus, it would be unrealistic for me to drop the bust on him, don't you think? I have no doubts in regards to this witness's testimony. It was impossible for him to lift the bust and stick himself out far enough to look. Not to mention that he could not have known the location of the Ringmaster's head. A single false step would have led to even more severe injuries. That's what I was thinking. What is your opinion on the matter, Mr. Wright? I'd still like to proceed with my cross-examination. He's simply stalling. It's shameful, really. I can't let it get to me. I've got to focus. I suppose I could have lifted something the size of that bust. Have you ever lifted up the bust before? No, I've never actually lifted it up with my own two hands. But I should get to it, don't you think? I can't let money outdo me on this. Money? Oh, that crazy monkey has lifted Max's bust before? There you go. Money stole the bus, left it in Acro's apartment, and he put it on a harness or something to stick out the window and kill the Ringmaster. Please continue with your testimony, Mr. Dingley. I have a strong upper body from working as an acrobat, only my legs were injured. So what have you been doing to keep in shape? Well, honestly, I've given up on training. I don't have any plans to return to the trapeze or the tightrope. You don't say. But, no offense, I'm not worried about losing to you in a race or anything. Neither am I, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I wouldn't lose either, slowpoke. I mean, Nick. Whoa, how did the discussion turn to me all of a sudden? I suppose you could say that I'm stronger than the average bear. However, lifting the bust and looking out the window would have been impossible. And why is that? Because if I were to do that, I end up falling out the window myself. I still haven't gotten much feeling back in my legs yet. So you couldn't have thrown that bust out of the window. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my little body. How long do you think your recovery will take? You have to remember that my nose was severely damaged. I'm currently undergoing some extremely intensive rehabilitation, but it's still going to take a while before I'm back to 100%. Let me remind you of another very important point. If the witness was carrying the bust, he would not be able to see out below the window. That's true. That makes it impossible for me to have known the location of the ringmaster's head. Why do you say it would be impossible? Allow me to explain. You accept that if I was carrying the bust, I couldn't see out below the window? Thus, there is no way that I would know the location of the ringmaster's head. Well, I suppose you got a point. Hey, Nick? Huh? What if you turn things around? Maybe think of it sort of like this. If he knew the location of the ringmaster's head, then he could drop the bust. That does make sense. If only I could prove somehow that Acro knew the location of the ringmaster's head without looking down. Well, if the chest was already there, then in theory the ringmaster would have stopped to look at it and try to open it, wouldn't he? I think I've already explained things sufficiently. Thus it would be unrealistic for me to drop the bust on it, don't you think? If all you had to do was drop it, then it wouldn't have been a problem at all. If all I had to do was drop it, you're right, I could have done that. However, there's no way that I could land a direct hit on the ringmaster's head. So that kind of makes your theory a bit pointless, doesn't it, Mr. Wright? Acro's strong enough to lift up the bust. The main problem is how he could have aimed for the ringmaster's head. I wonder if he used some kind of tool to aim for the ringmaster. That's the ticket, Nick. Show them what you've got. I have to be careful. I have to find something that fits perfectly with the case. I don't remember us finding any sort of tool. But maybe we overlooked something. Alright, so I'm going to assume that we're talking about the chest. Alright. Let's give this a shot. Acro, you didn't really need to lean out the window, did you? What are you driving at, Mr. Wright? You already knew ahead of time where the ringmaster's head was going to be. Quite precisely, I may add. Your silly hinting at things is pointless, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Enough stalling. How about you show us some evidence? But I did such a good job hinting. Yes. Hurry up and explain things, Mr. Wright. Maybe you should take a look at this. The key point here is the wooden box. The same wooden box that the victim was found hunched over? The same. The question is, who placed the wooden box here? Who? When Ben and company saw the ringmaster, they didn't see him holding the box. Which means that this wooden box was already placed at the scene of the crime. I have to admit that your theory makes a lot of sense. The moment that the bust came falling down was exactly the same moment that the ringmaster lifted up this wooden box. Which means that the answer to all these questions is now crystal clear. You mean, if the bust were to fall upon the point marked out by the wooden box, there would be no way that it could miss the head of the victim. No! Order, order, order! This is unbelievable! Finally, some of these loose ends are starting to tie themselves up. Now I just gotta keep going. There's only one way to go from here. Forward. So the next question I have is, who placed that wooden box at the scene? Well, it's Mr. Dingling, of course. He connected it to a rope, and then all he had to do was lower it down. Ow! Allow me to whip some sense into you. Mr. Phoenix Wright. Ow, ow, ow! The ringmaster's head could have been anywhere when he lifted the box. That's why the box was so specially made. Specially made? Indeed. It had the most peculiar feature. The contents of the box? Do you recall what was inside the wooden box? There was only a small bottle of pepper, wasn't there? Get on with it. Well, what's the matter? Cat got your tongue? I don't see any relationship between the location of his head and the box's contents. I think I might have outthought myself. No, Nick, you didn't think enough. Mr. Wright, do you still maintain the box had some sort of special feature? Indeed. Had the most peculiar feature. What do we have about the box? 20-pound box. Both a small but strong one. Alright, so the weight? The box has a remarkable weight. Weight? According to the court record, it weighs 20 pounds. Just to lift up this wooden box required... Oh, I see. One would have had to squat down, then lift it up with their body, wouldn't you say? That's exactly what I was trying to point out. The box is also very large. The box also has carrying handles on either side, doesn't it? That is correct. To lift up the box, you'd have to squat down. Which means that no matter who you are, your head would be in approximately the same place. Fool! Does he even bother to listen to me anymore? I've heard what you've had to say. Huh? I must admit, I'm shocked at your imaginative skills. Did you do it? Did you place this wooden box in the plaza? Mr. Wright may have a vivid imagination, but I could never have done what he's proposing. What? Mr. Wright, do you recall the original location of Max's bust? The cafeteria, wasn't it? Of course I remember. It was on top of the table in the cafeteria. Then what happened to it? I'd like you to remember one important fact, Mr. Wright. I could not possibly leave the lodging house by myself. Ah, that means... You understand what I mean, don't you? I may very well have been able to drop the bus from my room. However, how would I have gotten the bus from the cafeteria to my room? That's where the monkey comes in. You see, Mr. Phoenix Wright, explain that. Don't forget, you said there was no accomplice. Tell us exactly how the witness would have carried the bus from the cafeteria. Yep, we definitely have a problem here. This is no place to get perplexed. Gotta get my wits about me and prove how things happen once and for all. Well, that raises the question, would the monkey have the upper body strength to carry Max's bust? Alright, Mr. Wright, let's hear your explanation. How did the witness get the bus from the cafeteria back to his room? Alright, let's say... Oh, yeah. A monkey? Everyone knows money. He loves shiny objects of any size. Oh, like when he stole the ventriloquist ring. So, are you saying the witness had a monkey steal the bust? Of course he didn't order the monkey to steal it. The monkey stole it on his own, and then brought it back home. Ah. Home? Money lives in Acro's room. Acro's room? But the bust was bronze, wasn't it? Bronze isn't all that shiny. Maybe you should put the whip down sometimes and read the court record. My, those are some very nice cards he's holding. Yes, and they're made of platinum, which is very shiny. Gwah! Acro. Money is a strong monkey, right? Right? It'd be easy for him to bring the bust back to your room. A regular niffler, that one. Yeah? Yeah. You're right, he is a niffler. If he wasn't able to handle that himself, I'd be on the market for a new roommate. Order! Order! I said order! Ms. Von Karma! Where is the bust in question at this moment? I don't know. We're searching for it as we speak. This is a rather strange turn of events. But let's say that the monkey had not stolen the bust. What would have happened then? Well, in that event, something else would have been used as the murder weapon. A tuba, for instance. Wait! Then you mean this bust was the murder weapon purely by accident? It's possible. Maybe Acro saw money in his mountain of stolen goods and thought to use one of them. Anyways, I think we've more than proved one critical fact. Namely, that it was entirely possible that Acro was the murderer. Moron! Mr. Wright's argument was so circular, I'm still a bit dizzy. However, his argument does hold water. There's no denying that. Ow! Don't seem so flamboozled, especially by this fraud of an attorney. Fraud? You've forgotten the absolute most important thing, Mr. Phoenix Wright. And what is that? You should know. You forgot that your fraud of a magical client was spotted at the scene of the crime. There's no reason to doubt the client's testimony. That's true. How do you respond to that, Mr. Wright? Nick, don't let it beat you now. I'll do a save here. I won't. This is my chance to turn this trial around. When the murder occurred, there were two people at the scene of the crime. One was the victim, Mercer Berry, and the other was the murderer himself. Answer this and only this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Who was the murderer the clown saw? The bust. He saw Max's butt. Ow! I asked who was the other person Mo saw on the scene. That evidence has nothing to do with the question. Au contraire, mon frère, it does indeed have something to do with the question. Mo said he saw Max's silhouette. But he did not actually see the man himself. It wasn't a human being he saw. But how is that possible? It's simple, really. What Mo actually saw that night was Max's bust. What are you talking about? Have you tried using your brain at all in this case? The silhouette he saw was wearing a cloak. There's no reason why he couldn't attach a cloak to the bust. It would be easy to hang one off. It would be easy to hang one off of the cards in the bust's hands. Idiot! Who in their right mind would put a cloak on a bust? Doesn't matter who put it on the bust. Just wait a minute now, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? That question is of the utmost importance to this case, don't you agree? Oh, he caught me. So let's have it, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? I mean, there's a couple of possibilities here. Number one, could have been Max put the cloak on there himself to decorate the bust. Number two, could be the ringmaster put it on there. Because he was supposedly wearing it then, when he went past, wasn't he? And number 3 is obviously Acro. I think the Ringmaster is the most likely person. Fool! Him? You are saying it was the victim himself? Russell Berry? That's what I'm saying. The victim himself placed the cloak on the bust? Placed the cloak isn't really the right way of putting it. Then what would be the right way of putting it, Mr. Wright? Explain yourself! Nick, do you really have a handle on all this? Alright, save again. I'm fine, mate. I'm finally putting all the pieces together. There's really only one picture I can paint anyways. Alright, so you want to know what really happened? Let's step back in time. Acro used a rope to lower the wooden box onto the scene. Then he attached that rope to the bust, and dangled the bust out of his bedroom window, directly above the wooden box. At the same time, the Ringmaster told Max to wait in his room, and went to the scene. Of course, at the time, the Ringmaster was wearing Max's costume. Perhaps he didn't want anyone to recognize him that night. But just as he feared, he was spotted at the entrance of the lodging house by none other than a ventriloquist and his puppet, Ben and Trillo. When the Ringmaster arrived at the scene, he bent over to lift the wooden box. And that's when Acro took his chance and released the rope. Now this is when the magic happens. At the very instant the bust hit the victim, you wait just a second there, Mr. Phoenix Wright. As much as you try, as much as you scheme, this just isn't true. It can't be. It's still a little early to be getting so upset, Ms. Wonkama. This circuit isn't over yet. What? The impact of the bust on the victim threw the cloak up, which snagged onto the bust. That impact also caused the sound a certain witness heard, prompting him to take a look. That witness was, of course, Lawrence Mo Curls, the clown. When Mo looked out his window, the cloak had already snagged onto the bust. Now, having completed the crime, Acro naturally went about pulling up the murder weapon. Of course, he had no idea that Mo saw the bust being raised with the cloak dangling on it. Primarily because in his wheelchair he couldn't see out of his window. So he just kept pulling the bust up. And that is how the magical murder disappearing into the sky came to be. Poor Gumshoe. He'd spent all that time trying to reenact the crime for nothing. So you see, the only person who could have pulled this off is the one person who was able to drop the murder weapon from above the crime scene. Acro. It could only have been you. Acro's been playing mind games with all of us. He sure has. But he's come to the end of his rope now. So, what now? You've graced us with a rather long-winded tale. But do you have any evidence to prove that your fairy tale is true? Evidence? I'd better save again. I don't have that many points left. In this court, only two things matter. The power of evidence and the power of my whip. Don't forget the power of my gavel as well. Mr. Wright, the prosecution brings up a good point. Can we see some evidence? Nick, they say they want evidence. I just explained how there can only be one possible murder method. But there's still something unusual about Mo's eyewitness account. Unusual? A contradiction, actually. Okay then, use that and get out of this jam. That's enough talking amongst yourselves. Proceed, Mr. Wright. Present some evidence to the court that backs your claims. I want hard proof that you have unraveled the trick to this magic case. Well, is it the hat? The hat's the only thing I can think of. The problem is that Max's three symbols. You know, the silk hat, the cloak, and the white roses. Those symbols were a problem numerous times during yesterday's proceedings. Yesterday, there were two contradictions in Mo's testimony. The silk hat was one, the white roses were the other. But the theory I just presented explains all of those contradictions. You fool, do you ever shut up? Max's silk cat was found at the scene of the crime. However, remember what Mo said yesterday. He testified that the criminal he saw fleeing the scene was wearing a silk hat. There's only one explanation for that. The silk hat that Mo saw was actually the bust's. That does explain that. Makes sense. If you look at it that way, then he did see the silk hat. Well, sort of. Fine, you've got one, but what about the other contradiction? The other contradiction? Remember what the ventriloquist said in court. He said he witnessed white roses on Max's chest that night. But the clown's testimony doesn't match. The clown said that there were no white roses. I'd like to see you try and explain that one away. Can you do it, Nick? I'm not sure that I can. Of course, I can explain all of it. What was that? Please recall the incident when the cloak snagged onto the bust. If the cloak snagged onto the bust, what happened to the right roses? Oh, I see, yes, they were facing inwards. Do you get it yet? If the cloak got snagged onto the front of the bust, it means that the white roses would end up on the back of the bust. Ah! Which explains why Mo didn't see them. White roses were not visible because they were on the back side of the bust. Order! Order! This is quite the shocking state of affairs. Mr. Wright's theory still sounds a bit absurd to me. However, let's just keep going down this road for a while and see where it leads. Let's do this, Nick. Then maybe Von Kammel will finally throw in the towel. Well, so much for that theory. Mr. Wright, do you mind? What is it? You took the time to research our circus, didn't you? Well, yes, I did. Is there something making you think that I didn't? If you did, then maybe you'll understand why I think you're off track. Why is that? Motive. This witness feels an incredible debt of gratitude towards our ringmaster. Anyone with any relation to the circus is well aware of this. Thus, there's absolutely no way someone like this would kill the ringmaster. Your Honor, I'd like you to hear Acro's story. Learn about his relationship with the ringmaster, and his life up until now. What do we do? There's no doubting that Acro deeply respected the ringmaster. Acro's motive. It seems that this case isn't over yet. Very well. However, I feel this is a good place to take a break. I will listen to the rest of Mr. Dingling's testimony after recess. This court will now take a 10-minute recess. And this streamer is also going to take a quick recess to drain the lizard, if you like. So hang around. I'll be back in just a few minutes. Okay. So, looks like my theory about how the murder was committed was mostly correct. I think it was Acro with a harness or a line or something, dropping something on the ringmaster. I just hadn't considered the possibility that the murder weapon was the bust. Or did I? I may have considered that last week. I don't remember. I should go back to that stream and see. Anyway, let's get on with the trial. I think we got him now. I can't believe it. Acro? It's pretty shocking, isn't it? It definitely is. And to think he was always the most straightforward of the group. Jeebus, am I that hated? Acro tried to pin the murder on you on purpose. He did? Psst, psst. But I'm nothing but a little old nobody, you know? Oh, he's gone into his normal southern twang. But I'm nothing but a little old nobody, you know?
But you're not, which is kind of the reason why.
Hey, pal! You're gonna ignore me after all the trouble after I went to all this trouble to bring you some evidence?
Ah, Detective Gumshoe!
Ah, forget it. I'm going home. This guy deserves to be guilty anyways.
Now, Detective, I'm sorry. Look, why don't you relax a little? We got some really tasty milk. How about a cut?
How about a cartridge, Detective? Well, if you insist.
Now, about that evidence you mentioned. What is it?
Here you go. Ooh, what have we here?
Huh? This was yesterday in Acro's room?
Yep, and I've included the forensic results. Take a look at it later.
Oh, was this, that was Bat's scarf, wasn't it? Wouldn't Miss Von Karma be mad that you're doing this?
That's why this is all a secret.
Huh?
Look, details are on a need-to-know basis. We're not really allies or anything. But everything that's happened in court up until now has gone according to our plan.
I don't know. Ms. Von Karma didn't seem in control of things in there just now.
You'll figure it out eventually, pal. Yesterday, our final plans were set into motion.
Final plans?
Uh-huh. That reminds me, I've got a message from the prosecutor for you. Nothing is ever truly decided until the very end. That's it. And that's it for me too, pal. I'm out of here.
What did he mean by that? The very end part?
I'm not sure. It was all pretty cryptic to me. Oh, one more thing.
Ah! Don't scare me like that!
Looks like there's a large care package from the circus for the defendant.
What? For me?
It's milk. The reception area looks like some kind of dairy. So hurry up and drink it all before it spoils.
An entire dairy's worth of milk? For me? Okay. Oh, let's see how out of control this gets.
Court is now back in session. Ms. Von Karma, please continue from where you left off.
Let me just have a look at what's been added to the court record. Bat scarf, stained with his blood, and a small quantity of pepper. There we go. My theory was someone dosed the lion with pepper when he stuck his head in his mouth. I'd like to continue with Acro's testimony, starting with his relationship to the victim. I'd also like to get proof from the defense, proof of what kind of motive Acro would have to commit this crime.
Understood. Now, Mr. Dingley.
Yes, Your Honor.
Please proceed with your testimony.
Finally, we get to the motive. Wait, Nick, are you okay? Just do me a favor and don't ask questions you don't want the answer to. Oh. About the ringmaster. When we were little, we were abandoned by our parents. That's when the ringmaster at the Berry Big Circus, Russell Berry, took us in. I became an acrobat at around 9 years old. I wanted to find a way to repay the ringmaster. That was my sole purpose in life.
You're such a thoughtful young man.
As you heard, the witness deeply respected the victim. I wonder how anyone could think that Acro would kill the man he held in such esteem.
You are absolutely right. How could anyone think that, Mr. Wright? Which is why there's no real need for a cross-examination, is there?
Actually, that's the question I'm trying to answer myself. Why would Acro kill the ringmaster? This might be my last chance to answer that question. The defense has a right to cross-examine the witness.
You're so tactless, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You don't care about justice, do you? You just want to fabricate a motive. Very well, Mr. Wright. Cross-examine the witness.
Alright, let's see how this goes. When we were little, we were abandoned by our parents. We? Yes, my brother Sean and I.
What? You have a brother?
How old were you when this happened, Acro? I was 8 years old and my brother was 4.
Your parents were very cruel, weren't they?
Nowadays, we are bitter about what happened to us. Because it allowed us to meet the wonderful people at the very big circus. Nick, the judge is getting misty-eyed.
He's got a soft spot for sob stories, it looks like. Ow!
No crying ain't good. Let's keep going.
The witness may proceed with his testimony.
That's when the ringmaster at the very big circus, Russell Berry, took his in. How would you describe your relationship with the ringmaster? He was like an uncle, a father, and a big brother all rolled up into one. The ringmaster and my brother were the only family I had.
What about other people at the circus?
This was over 15 years ago. Back then, there were very few customers coming in, so no one really had the time to look after us. They worried about other things. But the ringmaster, he would always come see us with a laugh and a smile. What a beautiful story. That's why I was always thinking what I could do to help. I wanted to thank him. Nick, isn't Acro such a wonderful person? I know, he seems like a nice guy, which is what makes it so difficult.
So then how long have you been a performer?
I became an acrobat at around 9 years old.
You started off as an acrobat at that early of an age? I mean, heck, Dick Grayson was doing acrobatics as a kid.
I begged the ringmaster until he finally agreed to let me do it. Ever since then, I've been in incredible physical shape. That's also when I decided to form a group with my brother. We called ourselves the Flying Dinglingberries. It's nearly a household name. I've even heard of them in Germany. Fire. The point is that I wanted to be of some use to the circus.
You are truly a remarkable young man.
The judge keeps looking at Acro almost like a proud father. I wanted to find a way to repay the ringmaster. That was my sole purpose in life. Did you ever have any trouble with the ringmaster? Ow! How could you ask such a thing, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Do you have some sort of fundamental misunderstanding of this witness's testimony? Or the heartfelt emotions contained within? You better think about this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You better think hard. Ow! 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 Ow!
No matter how you look at it, there's no way I could see this witness ever taking a victim's life.
Exactly. I've been waiting for you to say that, Your Honor. Nick, I hate to say it, but I agree with them. I was trying to chase down the truth, but I ended up just looking like a jerk.
I think that will be enough for now. Pondering whether or not this man would kill the ringmaster leads me to believe that it is pretty unlikely.
Exactly right, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, I'd like to ask you a question.
Go ahead, Your Honor.
I would just like to know...
Quick save. Quick, cheeky save.
Can you provide an explanation as to why Acro would want the ringmaster dead?
Now that I've come this far, there's no way I could answer no, I can't. Oh, this is gonna be good.
Very well, then please enlighten the court. Let's see some evidence that proves Acro's motive for killing the ringmaster.
Thank you, Detective Gumshoe.
Let me just go over this one more time. This is why Acro killed the ringmaster?
That is correct. I don't think the defense would mind confirming something for me. What exactly is we supposed to learn from this piece of evidence? What are you supposed to learn? Looks like you just won the award for biggest failure in court. Ouch, biggest failure in court, that stings.
In recognition of your honor, let me bestow upon you my special prize. So now, what will you do, Mr. Wright? I would prefer you hurry up and prove something.
Right, now I'm really gonna have to think about this.
Okay, this time won't leave any doubt. May the defense remember that this court is not target practice for its theories. Very well, then please enlighten the court. See some evidence that proves Acro's motive for killing Ramos. So, Sean? Okay, so no. Alright. Either it's Leon, or I'm not supposed to present evidence at this time. Nope. Alright. Nick? Yeah, I didn't even have to think about it. It was obvious from the start. Your Honor, the reason that Acro killed the Ringmaster is something that can't be proven. What? That's because Acro had no reason to kill... No. To kill the Ringmaster at all. Ow! Your foolish attempts to fool us like foolish fool is so foolhardily foolish! Did you forget? You made an accusation against this witness, did you not? I believe it was, this is the real killer of Russellberry, Ringmaster. If you want to jump to the end of things, then yes, that sounds about right. The end of things? Acro. You didn't plan to kill the Ringmaster at all, did you? The Ringmaster wasn't your target that night. What did you just say? I'm saying that the target that... That's right. He put the note in Regina's pocket. He was trying to kill Regina. I'm saying that the target of the witness's murderous plot was not the Ringmaster. Because it was never his intention to kill Russellberry to begin. It makes sense that he couldn't see out the window because of the giant bust. He couldn't tell it wasn't Regina out there. What? Order! Order! Bailiff, I don't care who it is. Smack anyone who's loud in the face. Twice if you... Wow. That's a bit harsh. Mr. Wright, what in the world are you trying to do to my court? Ow! Mr. Phoenix Wright, what in the world are you trying to do to his court? Are you attempting to imply that Acro was trying to kill someone else? Regina Berry? This young girl was the Ringmaster's daughter, correct? Acro. You were really aiming for her that night, weren't you?
Objection!
You don't need to answer that. It's a mean-spirited leading question.
Objection!
He could easily answer this question. If I'm wrong, all he has to say is you're wrong. That's it. That's it, huh, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Enough. Mr. Wright, allow me to... Ow! The only thing allowed to interrupt me is death itself. Huh? And that goes for you too, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Show me evidence, now! I want to know why Acro would want to kill Regina Berry. Yes, me too. I demand to see some proof. Alright. Present evidence that proves Acro was out to kill this young girl. So this would be the scarf, yes? Alright, Mr. Wright. At this point, the only thing that's important is evidence. This better not be a bluff. You're not going to... Ow! You're not going to fool me, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Those two are finishing each other's sentences now. Oh, jeez. Okay, so not the scarf. The court sees no reason to further prolong this trial, nor is there any need for more time to decide the case against the defendant. This case is extremely clear. I see no room for misinterpretation of the facts. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Billy Bob Johns, guilty. The accused will surrender to the court immediately, to be held pending trial at a higher court within a month from today's date. That is all. This court is adjourned.
Game over.
Alright. So, bat. Layout. What am I supposed to show him? Oh, the notes. Well, duh. That actually makes sense. Okay. Here. Let's just make sure I got it right this time. To the murderer, you haven't got what happened 6 months ago, have you? I have conclusive evidence of what took place. Meet me at 10 p.m. tonight at the Lodging House Plaza. Acro, you remember this, don't you? It's a piece of paper that we found inside the ringmaster's tailcoat. Inside the victim's tailcoat? Acro wrote this note. It's ironically entitled, To the Murderer. Its purpose was to call someone to the plaza at 10 p.m. So you're saying that he called Russell Berry with that note? Yes, but there's just one little problem. Problem? Acro did indeed place this note in someone's pocket. However, that someone was not the ringmaster. You mean it wasn't for the... That's exactly what I mean. The person this note was intended for was none other than Regina Berry. Order! 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 Mr. Wright! This little theory of yours. It's the truth, Your Honor. It isn't a theory. Simply put, Regina didn't think the note was meant for her. Which is why, the morning of the crime, she placed it on the cafeteria bulletin board. That's when her father... the ringmaster saw the note? That's correct. The ringmaster ended up in the plaza instead of Regina. And he was killed because of that mistake. Instead of Regina. That's incredible! Remember the testimony that Acro gave us earlier today? Whipping the bus and looking out the window would have been impossible. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my little body. If I were to do that, I'd end up falling out the window myself. Acro had no idea who it was that arrived in the plaza, because he couldn't look down out of his window to see who it actually was. I've got it! I've got it! Acro thought it was Regina down in the plaza, and that's when he let the bust fly. Hey Nick, isn't Regina listening to all this from the audience? She is. Fortunately, it's only going to get harsher from here. I hope Regina can handle it. Acro wrote this note to Regina.
Objection!
Foolishly foolish fool, with foolishly foolish ideas of foolish tomfoolery. You're so foolish you've even made me sound like a foolhardy fool. Very well, Mr. Phoenix Wright. If you're so sure, then tell us about this line. I have conclusive evidence of what took place. Yes? What about that line? Well, if the note was meant for Regina Berry, it would mean that this note is declaring that Regina Berry is a murderer. You just don't get it, do you? What? What did you just say? The ringmaster knew what the note meant, which is why he went into the plaza, in place of his lovely daughter. Hey, hold it right there, Mr. Wright. What is this incident that is alluded to in the note? The incident 6 months ago. An incident occurred 6 months ago, and now I am more than ready to show this court what happened at that time. Moron! Wait, are you sure that it relates to the present case? It does indeed, Your Honor. Everything in this case has its start in what happened 6 months ago. Really, Nick? Hang on. I think so. Well then, if that's the case, hurry up and tell us about it. What is this conclusive evidence mentioned in the note? I know I'd certainly like to know what it is. If I can't answer that question, the judge is going to think I'm bluffing. The conclusive evidence about the incident 6 months ago is actually the pepper. Achoo! 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 What kind of spicy joke is this, Mr. Phoenix Wright? It isn't a joke at all. It's a decisive evidence you asked for. What do you mean? Recall that the victim was trying to take the wooden box away with him. He was doing so because this piece of decisive evidence is what was inside. Another unbelievable conclusion. Very well, Mr. Wright. So what exactly are you saying? Right, let's do another save here. Done one and bit. Are you claiming that Regina Berry killed someone with a small bottle of pepper? Taking the note into account, that's the only logical conclusion you can draw. Foolish fool who never tires of his own foolish ways. If you're so sure, Mr. Phoenix Wright, then answer this question. Who was Regina Berry's intended victim? Well, Sean. Who is this? That is Acro's younger brother. What does this prove? His younger brother isn't dead? Technically, that's true. However, Bat has been in a coma for 6 months now. It's not a stretch to see how Acro could feel that his brother is dead. Regina, she did that to him? Do you spend your entire life dreaming up new ways to be a fool? Naturally, the prosecution has looked into Acro's brother, Sean Dingling. 6 months ago, he was bit by a lion and fell into his current comatose state. A lion? Ms. Regina Berry is an animal tamer by trade. However, no tamed animal in that position is ever trained to attack another human. They wouldn't understand the command. Moreover, Ms. Regina could never do something just like that. It's just not in her. So then what happened to Acro's brother? He's not the victim of an attempted murder, he's the victim of an accident. I see. Now what do we do? No one seems to be going along with your theory. Do you think what happened to Bat was actually an accident? I don't think it was an accident. The lion biting Bat was no accident at all. What? You're such an amateur, Mr. Phoenix Wright. There is no way that Regina would ever incite her lion to attack another human being. She may not have incited the lion to attack another human being, but Regina is responsible for making the lion bite Acro's brother Bat. So the pepper, right? Nick, you sure you want to go with that? Huh? How exactly does this evidence prove the reason Lion bit? Oh no, the scarf has traces of pepper on it. Right. Duh. I know what I'm doing. Who said I didn't? scarf. Acro. This scarf is something that Bat used to wear, correct? That's right. And who is the one that gave this scarf to Bat? Regina. Regina gave it to him. Regina? There is something more than just blood on this scarf, Your Honor. And what might that be? Pepper. Pepper? Pepper. Regina gave the scarf to Bat right before the accident, and she covered it with as much pepper as she could. Wow. Big, well, awkward silence. Hey, what's with the silent Oh. Oh no. Oh, stop that. Stop that bird. Excuse me, Mr. Wright? You've done a good job of fingering a criminal. But out of curiosity, what was her crime? Miss Berry gave a pepper-covered scarf to Bat as a present. Where's the crime in that? It still seems like the judge doesn't get it. Mr. Phoenix Wright, wasn't it said that the lion seemed to be smiling? She gets it. Smiling? The lion was smiling? Right before Bat was bit by the lion. For a moment, the lion's mouth changed, and it looked like he was smiling. Lions smile? I've never heard of them smiling, however. Lions sneeze. Leon wasn't trying to bite Bat at all. In reality, all he actually did was sneeze. Gruesome. He sneezed because of all the pepper on the scarf. What? You fool! You've got to be kidding me. So, was Regina actually trying to kill him, or did she just think it would be a funny joke? Or I don't get. I thought the pepper must have been from one of Sean's competitors trying to get him out of the way.
Objection!
What's the matter, Miss Von Karma? I object for objection's sake. Mr. Phoenix Wright, this theory, you believe it? You really intend to say that this is how this joke of an accident actually happened? Of course I do. It's the truth. The lion sneezed due to the pepper, and that's when Bat lost consciousness. Acro nearly lost his brother due to this accident, or this joke, as you put it. Which is why he tried to get his revenge against Regina. You foolish idiot! It almost does seem like a terrible joke, doesn't it? Once again, I'm impressed by your imagination, Mr. Wright. Huh. To think that there's someone who treats this accident with the respect it deserves. Are you telling me that what I said was true? Acro, you can't mean, witness? Are you confirming the defense's claim? Mr. Wright, unfortunately, your imagination is not enough to find me guilty of murder. What do you mean by that? The pepper, the scarf, the lion. I see where you're going, but it's a bit hard to swallow. So's pepper. Ba-da-boom. Not to mention the fact that there's an even bigger problem with your theory. What would that problem be? Same problem it's always been. Evidence. If I drop Max's bust on top of the ringmaster, where is the evidence that proves that claim? Stop that bird! Arrest that bird! You mean the conclusive evidence? The biggest problem is the murder weapon, or the lack thereof, to be more precise. The murder weapon. The bust that the defense claims was used. If that were to be found in Acro's room, and if it was covered with the victim's blood, that would be awfully conclusive in my eyes. I feel like I'm going to be asked to provide something here, and Yes, it would be.
Bust. Nick, you gotta do something! This is the last step. If I get this one right, the case is won. The defense requests to search the room of the witness, Ken Dingley. What is it now? It looks like you still haven't figured things out, have you? By now, you must know the meaning of von Karma total justice. You mean... A von Karma never leaves anything to chance. We already searched Ekru's room yesterday. What did you find? There's no reason to even say it. If we found what you think we found in that room, Ekru would not be here as a witness. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. But to put a point on it, Max's bust was not in the room. The murder weapon is still unaccounted for. See, Mr. Wright? The bust wasn't in my room. Furthermore, Detective Dick Gumshoe executed the search by complete surprise. And we took Ekru directly to the prosecutor's office after that. End of story. Just wait a second. Something's funny about all this. Ha 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 ha! It looks like you lack the final nail to put into my coffin. But what about the scarf? What about the note? What about them, Mr. Wright? No offense, but the only evidence that is relevant here is that which pertains to the death of the ringmaster. You should know that by now. Do something, Nick. Don't let this case slip away. The bust, where is it now? Well, he went to the hospital the day after the murder, didn't he? Where's the bust right now? You're Phoenix Wright. You know where that bust is, I'm sure you do. There's not even a single clue. How am I supposed to know where the bust is? It seems this case is coming to a close. The defense's counter-arguments look to have fallen short. Thank you for your support. Hack. I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Wright. I think that brings to an end the cross-examination of this witness. Hold it! Where is Max's bust? The defense needs time to prepare to present its case. What? I mean, case. Sorry, I'm a bit nervous and I just bit my tongue. Huh? What? We need time to do what? Ow! Why are you the most surprised person here? She's your aide, isn't she? Do you really have a case to present, Mr. Wright? What? Are you asking me? This is up to you, Nick. Good luck. Hey, wait, you can't be serious. Acrobats always have their lives on the lines, don't they? That's how Akru's lived his life up till now. Now it's time for us to walk across our own tightrope. If we don't, we're certain to lose. Very well, the defense may proceed. He doesn't have a clue, and I don't think he'll be finding one anytime soon. Walking a tightrope of logic, there's no room for a false step. Sink or swim, the only way through is forward. The murder weapon. Where is Max's bust now? Okay. Somewhere in the lodging house. Seems unlikely. Somewhere in the big top. Also unlikely. Because he never goes anywhere except his room. Hospital's not an option. Could he have the bus stashed on his wheelchair? That's the only thing that makes any sense to me. It's obvious. The bust is inside this very courtroom. It's obviously where? Allow me to pinpoint the location of the bust once and for all. Akro,
sorry to ask this, but do you mind if I take the blanket off your wheelchair? I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear you, Mr. Wright. Well, you are a big guy. You have a pretty big wheelchair because of it. I just wanted to make sure you weren't hiding anything under that blanket. Because it seems to me that it'd be really easy to, hide a bust under there. Once again, your penchant for humor hits me where it hurts, Mr. Wright. I think it's pretty amazing that you can laugh in your position. However, your lightheartedness doesn't change the fact that the bust is under there. We all know that you can't leave the lodging house by yourself in your condition. That proved inconvenient when Ms. Von Karma happened to search your room yesterday. If she had found the murder weapon in your room, it would have been all over. Which is why you had to hide it. In the only place that you could hide it. Under your wheelchair. Which is why, Acro, I have to ask you again. Would you please remove the blanket from your lap? Well done, Mr. Wright. Masterfully played. You fool! How could you? You got me. I've been bagged by a real pro. Actually, two of them. Ms. Francisca Von Karma and Mr. Phoenix Wright. What? There's just one thing I'd like to know. How did you know to launch the surprise search on my room last night? There were two pieces of decisive evidence, the cloak and the bust. I burned the cloak in my room and threw the ashes away with the trash. Regina always took my trash out every morning, you know. But the bust, obviously I couldn't throw that away. When you executed your search, all I could do was try and hide the bust. And the only place that I could hide it quickly was under this wheelchair. Ms. Von Karma, you had things all figured out, didn't you? I was completely sucked in by your calculated strategy. Now to be caught in the middle of court hiding a murder weapon. There's no way I can escape that. So you got me. Well done, Mr. Wright. Well done, Ms. Von Karma. It all makes sense then. I can't believe that Von Karma thought that far ahead. It's amazing. Definitely couldn't tell by looking at her. I know I sure couldn't. I can't believe it. Me! Make a mistake! Why did I order a surprise search of your room? If only I hadn't done that! It seems we finally arrived at the truth. Acro? Yes, Your Honor. Did you kill the ringmaster of the Very Big Circus, Mr. Russell Berry? Yes, Your Honor. I'm responsible for that crime. Acro... All my brother wanted was for Regina to like him. That's why he'd tease her. One day, my brother sprinkled some pepper on Regina. She started sneezing so hard you couldn't help yourself from laughing. That's why Regina thought it'd be funny to get him back in the same way. And that's why she covered the scarf with pepper. I know she didn't mean for anything bad to happen. I know this. She just wanted to make my brother sneeze a few times too. But I just couldn't forgive her, no matter what. What am I truly guilty of? I'm guilty of never, ever being able to understand her. Your brother became a star. Regina believes in that so purely that she would laugh innocently when saying it. Too innocently. I just couldn't stand it, no matter how hard I tried. That's when you decide to do something about Regina. How dreadful! So, are you saying that you were a victim in all of this as well? No, that's not what I mean. Oh, I'm nothing but a murderer. That's who I am. At first I thought I'd kill myself, and I pondered giving myself up. But I
couldn't just up and leave. I just couldn't. Not yet. That's why I tried to pin this on Max. Max, I'm so sorry. I just couldn't up and leave yet.
This has been such a strange case. There are no non-strange cases in this game series, honestly. It's almost a reflection of the circus itself.
I'm an idiot. I can't believe it. You beat me again.
I believe this case is now beyond any point of possible discussion. Thus, I'd like to declare my verdict. Not guilty. I love that they have the confetti for the non-guilty verdicts. This court is adjourned. Uh, 4:27 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 5. Bum, 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 ba-dum. Fabulous! But to be honest, I can't really be too happy about this.
Acro, the ringmaster, Regina, and Bat. Not a single one of them was a bad person inside, huh?
That's a good question, and one I don't know the answer to.
Many congrats! But only at max 1,000,000 of them!
Thank you.
What's with the vibe in this room? We're just thinking about Acro. No, 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 no! If you worry about people too much, then you'll be like this forever and never be happy. Huh? Well, she's been like this for a while now. What? It's all my fault. Wow.
Yeah, no shit. Sweetie pie.
Bat and Acro, they're never coming back. Now everyone's gonna split up. Regina, Mr. Wright, tell me something.
What do you want to know, Regina?
Acro said something right at the end. I just couldn't up and leave yet. Does that mean that Acro... is he gonna try and get his revenge on me?
He's not gonna do that to you, Regina.
Are you sure? You're really sure? I can believe that?
Yep. Acro doesn't have any desire for revenge anymore.
If that's true, then I want to see some evidence.
Huh?
I want to know you're not just making up that stuff about Acro not wanting revenge.
Oh, Oh, Bat, right.
Acro didn't want to get caught for a reason. He wanted to see his brother open his eyes again. But Bat... That's right, Regina. He's still alive, you know. I never knew. But now that Acro's been caught... Uh-huh. I know. What? I'll do it. I'll stay next to Bat as long as it takes. Until he opens his eyes. And then until we can meet Acro again.
That's so sweet of you, Regina.
I'm sorry, Acro. I'm sorry, Bat.
Well, hopefully this is enough to give her a little peace of mind.
Hey, Max, what is it? We really put you through a lot, didn't we, buddy? I'm sorry about what happened. So, whenever you'd like to leave us, I'll pay your fee and rip up the contract. I understand. What a fabulous thing to do for me. I might even leave tomorrow. What's going to happen to the circus now? That's the big question. Our ringmaster was really an amazing person, wasn't he? Even though he's not here anymore, everyone is sticking together. The staff, the performers, no one wants to leave the circus. That's why I made a decision. What is it? I decided that I will take over as the new ringmaster. I'll turn this circuit into the best circus this world has ever seen. The best circus the world has ever seen? Don't laugh! That's quite the goal. Yay, I can't wait! Then, I guess that changes things. Huh? There's only one thing the best circus the world has ever seen needs. The world's best illusions. Which means the circus needs the best magician the world has ever seen. Max? Let's work together and make our circus super fabulous. What do you say, big guy? I don't know what to say. All I can say is thank you. Regina, you're gonna help them out too, aren't you? I don't know. Maybe the circus would be better off without me. What are you talking about, Regina? Why do you think that I brought you to court today? We've got to work together to make the very big circus bigger than it's ever been. Mo's right, sweetie pie. It can't be the very big circus without Regina Berry. Max. Nick. It seems like everything is going to turn out alright here. I can't wait to go see the best circus the world has ever seen. We'll save you the most fabulous seats. It'll take us a while to get ready, but I'm going to order special whoopee cushion seats. Okay. I see. What made the case? Yesterday's surprise raid really paid off just like you said it would, sir. You had it all figured out, didn't you? It was just a theory. If Acra really was the killer, I thought this was the only way it could end. I better know whose voice this is, especially if he was an defense attorney. You mean Mr. Wright? Of course. Well, Detective, my plane is about to leave. As for Mr. Acra's case, you need not worry. I plan to personally stop by the Chief Prosecutor's office as soon as I get back. There he is! There's our edgy boy. Understood, sir. I'll be waiting for you, Mr. Edgeworth. He's back! A brand new episode has been added. Yes, dun dun dun! Alright. Well, we're gonna save here, obviously. But I do have to go out this afternoon. Next time, one of the best cases in the series. Excellent. I'm looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to having Miles back as well. Franziska, she's a fun opponent, but she's not Miles Edgeworth. We need our Miles Edgeworth. Phoenix needs his true nemesis. Alright, let's see now. So I do have to go out this afternoon, so I don't think there's probably time to start a new case. I think that's probably best left for Friday. So in the meantime, we can raid... Oh,
Maybe my friend Sin Fritz. He's playing Sonic and All Stars Racing. Raid Sin Fritz. All right. So, yeah, that took a few twists and turns. I honestly thought that Sean's accident must have been an attempt to try and bump him off by one of his competitors for Regina's affection. And it was never really answered who she was going to choose, was it? But yeah, I didn't see that coming. I'm glad I did kind of figure out that Acro with the line from a high place was the method of death. But yeah, I don't think I would have picked the bust up at first. Yeah. I mean, yeah, compared to some of the other cases we've had in the series, it's maybe not as good. All the men going after the underage Regina was a bit icky. The clown was irritating, but it was an interesting enough case. So yeah, I think it was okay. Not fantastic, but okay. But yeah, if one of the best cases in the series is coming up to end this game, I'm looking forward to that very, very much. So I'm going to continue that on Friday. In the meantime, if you would like to catch up with any of my other playthroughs at this game or the first game, you can find those over on my YouTube channel, link below. I archive all my streams there, so whether it be Ace Attorney or Batman or Sonic the Hedgehog or what else? Dead Rising, lots of other games. They're all archived over there. You can find them. Also down below, you can find a link to my Blue Sky channel, where I do mostly daily progress on my Professor Oak challenge. My partner and I have been playing a Lego game together in the evenings, which is why I haven't been playing as much as I normally would. I struggle to talk and speak at the same time, so playing two different video games at the same time, you can see, is much more of a stretch. But when I do have progress, I post that on Blue Sky. And there's also a link down below to my Tumblr. I don't use it very much anymore, but there is a series of articles there about the Archie Sonic the Hedgehog comics and how they should have been a syndicated cartoon rather than a comic book series. More information on that on my Tumblr. Alright, let's go and raid Sin. Yeah, Sonic and All Stars Racing. Always a fun time. Thank you all for watching. Thank you to Chet and Dom in the chat. Always great to see you guys. Have a great afternoon, and yeah, catch you next time.